This is our, fifth attempt at trying to do an intro. I just want to welcome everyone back to our podcast, the Broke Theater Ushers podcast. We're on episode 2, and we're focusing on James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I'm Araceli, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sam.
Yay! We did it!
We finally got it!
You did it!
I had an energy drink, and it's not on my side.
Yep. That's all I'll say.
So, Sam?
Yes?
What did you think? Actually, first off, we got to see this movie a week before it came out.
You're talking about James Gunnses?
James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad. Will be some kind of Suicide Squad 2? That's a movie, right?
2?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, it was in the title.
Yeah. It's all one title. It's James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Will be some kind of Suicide Squad 2? That's the title. It's the title of this movie.
Not involved with the first Suicide Squad.
I mean, it's pretty involved. Some cast members return, but...
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw this a week early. I found out about it from James Gunn. He was like, hey, want to see this movie early? And he was like, and I was like, yeah.
You personally talked to him?
Yeah, I personally talked to him.
Through Twitter?
We're best buds.
No, we're
all
not.
right? He's super nice. Chill dude. Anyway. Yeah, so we saw it a week early. We were going to do it we were going to do this episode a couple weeks ago, but then life just happens.
By life, I mean I'd rather take a nap. But we're here.
That's pretty accurate. But anyway, now we're finally going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by now, I'm pretty sure everyone's put out their opinions about it.
Yeah. It's been over a week. If you get mad about spoilers, that's your dumb fault, not mine.
Yeah. We're putting in spoilers.
Yeah. So spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie, then don't whine. I don't care. I don't give you two butts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where should we start?
You know what? Let's talk about this cast. The real big cast.
Do not name everyone in this
We're gonna
movie.
name
Everybody has seen the trailers. Everyone.
We're gonna name everybody.
No, we're not.
Everybody's in this movie.
No. My jittery ass can read them all in 30 seconds.
I can read them all. I got this. Michael Rooker as Savant. What do you think of Michael Rooker as Savant? Let's go one by one.
One by one?
Yeah, let's go one by one. Michael Rooker as Savant. Speed round.
Fine.
Fine. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Unmatchable.
Yeah. Peak. What would you say? Peak casting for his character?
Of course.
Yeah. Would you say she's the best part of this movie or not?
There's... No.
No. Okay. Idris Elba as Bloodsport.
Fine.
He is fine.
In,
that he is.
In both acting and looks.
Yes. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller.
Oh my gosh. So scary.
I would say probably the best acted out of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
She's perfect as that role. Let's see. Peter Capaldi as the Thinker.
He's next in the lineup?
Well, no. Next one is, was it Jennifer Holland? James Gunn's girlfriend?
She was good.
She was good? Yeah, she was. She's going to be in that Peacemaker show with John Cena.
Yeah.
She's coming back. Julio Ruiz.
Who?
I think that's Milton. Milton.
Not like the scene in the movie. Who? Milton who?
Milton? He was with us all this time. Yeah, Peter Capaldi as the Thinker.
He was good.
He was good.
Yeah.
He played that evil genius role very well. Daniela Melchior as the Ratcatcher 2.
we'll get to that.
Yeah. She's good.
She's good, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. I don't know how to say this next person's name. I'll just
Let me
move
see.
on.
Who is it?
It's that one.
Tanashi Kajesi?
To be honest, I don't even know who they played.
Let's look it up.
We're back. She's the chick who knocks the crap out of Amanda Waller she's with Jennifer Holland and stuff like that.
She gets a big title in the poster.
I guess she's like, get back to work, Dale, you fucking dickhead. Yeah.
She did what she needed to do.
Yeah, she was just there. Steve Agee, he was the mocap for King Shark, but he's also the main guy with the glasses in the control room. He was also in Guardians 2. He's the one who's in the trailers. And he's just like, we gotta freaking guide you up in this shit.
Okay. I'm gonna say the same thing. Everyone did fine.
Okay.
Everyone did fine.
What about
No.
What about Taika? Your man says Taika.
I literally didn't even realize it was him because my freaking neck was so bent at an angle.
Did he make you cry?
I can't remember.
Can't remember if you cried.
We'll get into it.
Pete Davidson as Blackguard.
Everyone's hyping him up for. I love him. Like, he was fine once again, but.
Alice Braga as Sol Soria. She's the rebellion leader. The one who's
yes.
Yeah.
She looks familiar, but no, she did good.
Mm-hmm. Storm Reed as Idris Elba's daughter.
She gave.
Yeah,
she did that.
That scene was awesome. That was a good scene.
She knew the assignment.
Juan Diego Batu as oh my god, the Presidente guy, President Luna.
Did not care for him. Glad he died.
Here's one of my highlights of the film. Sean Gunn as the Weasel.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna do my perfect Weasel imitation.
Shut your mouth. That's no.
Anyway.
God, this is too long.
It's not too long. It's
yes,
perfect timing. It's perfect timing.
Oh my gosh.
Flula Borg as Javelin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish there was more time.
You wish it was any more?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Pete Davidson and anyone in those less than 20 minutes that were in the film.
Including Mei Ling Ning as Mong Gao.
Yeah, justice for her. Like, the most makeup used and everything and wasted.
But what about our boy Joel Kinnaman as Colonel Rick Flag?
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought it.
He knew the assignment too.
He did. So much better than that first one. Jesus Christ. Like, leaps and bounds better. Sorry. Nathan Fillion as TDK.
The stupidest.
I thought he was funny.
No.
Yes. Perfect. Joaquin Cosio as the mean general man. He's just there.
The mean general man?
Yeah. The one who's just a dick. And he becomes president when Harley shoots him.
Oh, I lied. Wait, no, they both die. Because I thought that was the guy that...
He's the one who becomes Starro-ified. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jai Courtney is Captain Boomerang.
I don't really care.
Probably the most gruesome death, probably.
Not, being sliced by the airplane.
Not even, he's evaporated by a helicopter.
And then those get stabbed with their.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you get stabbed with a whole bunch of tree branches and then just.
No, that's my nightmare. I hate getting splinters. I can't imagine being like stabbed by wood.
Oh, yeah.
No, thank
Not
you.
even. It's just like impaled.
That's impaled by. Yeah. No good.
And then, of course, the two best for last.
Mm-hmm.
Well, three, technically.
Jesus.
Well, Sylvester Stallone is King Shark.
Adorable.
Adorable. Be dumb friends. John Cena as Peacemaker.
Great.
I cannot wait for his show. He's gonna be awesome. And
was that announced before the movie came out or after?
It was, because
before?
Yeah, before the movie came out.
Isn't that kind of dumb?
Well, no, because James Gunn, I guess we talk about it now. James Gunn said during quarantine last year when he was doing because they just finished filming right when COVID started happening, and he was in post-production for this, and the entire time he was there, he was gonna start doing production for Guardians, but obviously that got delayed and because of COVID, whatever. So he just started thinking of ideas about this character, and then he ended up just making this elevator pitch, this dumb pitch for a Peacemaker show, and Warner Brothers approved it, and then he just made this show. Well, he wrote it down. He wrote the script. It's like 8 episodes long. And then he shot it all end of last year, beginning of this year, and now it's going to be out January of next year. It's literally going to be the next DC thing. So, it's going to be out on HBO Max in January. That shit's quick. Yeah.
It's a wasted end credit scene then.
Well.
Or I guess not, because I guess not everyone is going to know.
And the only
but not everyone stays for...
Yeah, I guess.
The end credit, I mean...
Yeah, we saw that through with Black Widow.
More. Yes. That was if that guy is listening, you're really dumb.
Yeah, we
for leaving.
Yeah, for the end of Black Widow, there was a post-credit scene. We saw a guy leaving with his daughter. He's like, why is everyone staying?
I don't think it was his daughter. I think it was definitely his girlfriend.
Or whatever.
And he was definitely...
I didn't get good looking. But yeah.
Well, he's an idiot for being like, why is everyone staying down or
it's
sitting
like, dude,
down?
This is how many Marvel movies are we into this now? 24?
I know he talked shit about Black Widow after.
And he most definitely did.
Anyway.
And of course the MVP. Best for last. David Dastmalchian.
He's the last one on the list?
Well, on the first one. I technically did reverse order.
Oh.
So, David Dastmalchian is a polka dot.
I cannot say.
He's like the ultimate, like, just being in a comic book franchise dude.
He is
the moment.
He is the moment.
Because he was in Dark Knight. Then he showed up in Flash, the show. Then he showed up. He's in the Marvel movies. He's in Ant-Man movies as Kurt. I think that's his character name.
I'm pretty sure if you've seen any comic book movies, you probably have seen his face if you don't know who we're talking about.
And then he got his big breakout in this. He was in Prisoners. He's been in Denis Villeneuve movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's good.
All right.
He's really good. So.
I guess we can start with the pros of this movie because both of us have opposite. No.
I wouldn't say opposite.
No.
They're kind of similar pros and cons.
I didn't want to rewatch it, really.
Well, let me just say, I like this movie more than you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
Well, I guess because it is James Gunn, like, my expectations for him was...
How are your feelings about him?
About James Gunn?
Not as a person, but his films.
His films? I mean, besides The Guardians, I don't think I've really seen anything else.
We tried Super.
Yeah, but I don't remember that.
I think we stopped because we had to do something, but I do remember liking that. We haven't seen Slither, which is another big one. I know he's done a couple other things, but I can't.
Well, Guardians 2 is pretty up there in my favorite films. If not favorite films, at least like I will definitely rewatch it. I worked during that movie and I never got tired of like the end credits when I would clean the theaters.
Because you were working.
Because I was working at a movie theater.
Our namesake.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is there?
About him?
Yeah. What else do you have about him?
No, I love how... Let me rewind that. I definitely see heart and soul go into his movies. Even if I don't like them or whatever the case is, like I can definitely tell that effort and love and just dedication, whatever good things you have to say about a good director, that's what he is.
Yeah.
Like I love seeing more behind the scenes of this movie than the movie itself. Because I just love how everyone is just
ecstatic.
Yeah, but no, you can tell that I'm jealous. Like it looked like such a fun film to film.
Yeah.
Like everyone has nothing but good things to say about it. It's really hard, I feel, also to have like 20 plus people as your big cast to like have that strong of a chemistry.
Yeah.
But I'd say that worked.
Yeah. Would you say you wouldn't blame Warner Brothers for plastering his name all over this movie?
We know why Warner Brothers did that. They were like, save us.
That's something that it's something that I completely understand why they did it, but in hindsight, I don't think it's gonna work out that well because of the circumstances of what happened and why he even did this movie in the first place. Like it's almost like it kind of feels like that's what they're parading around instead of just like, because like 10 years from now when people aren't really going to remember and they're like, how did James Gunn go from Marvel to a DC movie? And they're going to look up the backstory and I'll be like, oh, okay. Never. I don't know if they should have plastered his name all over the marketing in this movie, but I get why they did it though. They were like, hey, you know those Marvel movies that we try to rip off? We got one of them.
No, but I mean, you definitely have pointed out the similarities between this film and other Marvel films.
I did a video essay on it. I'll put a link in the...
Check out his video. It's really good.
Thank you. Yeah, it is... Some of the cast members are very similar to the Guardians themselves. You know, obviously, Ratcatcher's very similar to Star-Lord, Emotional Heart, horror movie, sad dead parent story. You know, all the rest of that stuff you can watch in my video. I'm not gonna prattle on about it. But yeah, like it like you can tell he essentially made the same characters, but I do think that they're different enough that, you know, like it's not very obvious. You do have to kind of think about it and kind of notice it to really like think about it. Like I wouldn't blame anybody for just kind of, you know, not being like, I didn't really think about that. You know, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah. But like I said, you can tell that James Gunn, and he said it himself, that this is like his favorite thing he's ever worked on with the cast that he's...
And you could definitely tell.
Yes.
This more so, you know, for as much as you can say about the other DC movies, like the Zack Snyder films, the ones he actually did, actually feel like Zack Snyder films. And that's why they, for the Justice League Snyder Cut thing, whatever, they put his name all over it because they wanted to make sure that it was his name on it. And you know that it is a movie that he wanted to make. And that is the same with this. You can clearly tell that this was a James Gunn movie more than a Warner Brothers movie, which I do think is the thing that does make them different from Marvel, is that they feel less, you know, like studio factory made, which a lot of people do claim that like Black Widow was. It kind of felt like, you know, a pretty standard Marvel movie, factory made kind of movie, and that's completely fine if you feel that way, you know, because it is kind of not wrong, you know.
Also, I just want to say, I'm not gonna shit on this movie. I feel like the vibe is that I hated this movie. I didn't hate it.
Well, not now.
What?
Well, not now. You do have some negative things you want to say, but
yes, but it's not. No, I didn't hate it. It's just not up to par with, I guess, the expectations that I had for it.
Disappointing.
I don't know. I think it's just...
Well, we watched it the first time at the pre-screening, and then we saw it a week later on HBO Max when it came out. What would you say was how you felt watching the second time compared to the first time?
Well, we paused it.
Well, we watched it the second time. We watched the first hour. We
watched it on HBO Max. We didn't go to the theater again.
Yeah. We watched the first hour. We took like a break. A couple of days later, we finished the ending. The other half. Which I think is probably where my personal problems have with it, is the first half is kind of a bit all over the place. For me anyway, for pacing and stuff like that. But then like that second half, you know, because I'm on Twitter and I see everybody giving us like perfect 10s and scores and one of the best comic book movies ever made. Second half, I agree. It is that feeling I get where when people say that. It's the first half that I feel is kind of choppy.
Yeah. But I want to start with the pros.
Okay, yeah. Start with your first pro.
My first pro?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I should share my first pro as the last.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'll start then. I really loved how James really just took these really dumb characters that nobody will ever use except for this, and made them all interesting and unique enough and clearly fun enough that you care about them. They're not so much relatable, because that's the biggest thing with Marvel and DC, is that Marvel is more relatable. You know, I could say that about the Guardians too. Everybody can kind of relate to the problems they have, whereas DC is more about just interesting dilemmas and characters and predicaments and stuff like that. You know, and I would say, you know, even though they're less relatable, you understand the situation and the gravity of the situation that they're in, and you feel nothing but, you know, like, they give them enough likability that you're like, I want to see them succeed. You know? Yeah. You know, pretty much. Even like the ones who like who clearly don't care, or are clearly just really bad or whatever. Even like the first group, you know, like even though we barely got to know any of them, like they were still enjoyable and likable enough on screen that, you know, like if you swap them with anyone in the main group, like it still would be just as entertaining. Yeah. If you swap Polka Dot Man with TDK, it'd still probably be just as interesting, because they have equally as dumb powers. You know, one throws polka dots and the other one has detachable arms. Like, they're equally dumb.
Right. That's your first pro?
Yeah. I think, yeah, just that idea that, you know, they took really on paper shitty characters, or characters that nobody would ever think would be on the big screen. Somebody like Peacemaker. Right. I never thought they would ever get on there. And, you know, I thought it was really good and enjoyable.
You know what? That'll lead into my first pro.
Go ahead.
I loved John Cena. I will not take any Peacemaker slander. I don't think there is any, because he's getting his own show. But John Cena kicked that role's ass.
He crushed it.
Not just crushed it, but
fucking crushed it.
I just love how you could tell how serious he took this dumbass role, and just
I love how not even that, how dumb his outfit is, because that is like that's probably the best translated like suit from the comics to the big screen there has ever been. That is literally what he looks like in the books.
I just have a feeling that man never broke character.
Oh yeah, he never has. And like the fact that he wears it at the premiere or for all the press release for it was hysterical. That was so funny.
I
just goes on Jimmy Kimmel just wearing it.
Because when the trailers dropped, I guess we did talk about what we thought about who was in this, and I like John Cena.
Oh yeah. Him.
But I did not think I was gonna. There's like so many people in this cast. I literally didn't even think twice about him in this movie.
Oh yeah.
But he.
And I told you before. James Richard wrote that role for Dave Bautista, but he ended up not doing it because of a scheduling thing. But
right.
I think he would have been good, but I feel like at that point it'd be too much like Drax.
Yeah.
Because they're essentially very similar characters.
Yeah.
They're guys who take things very literally and seriously and stuff like that. But I do feel like with Peacemaker...
No, they're so distinct still.
Yeah, they're still very distinct though. I love that bit towards the end when him and Rick Flag were going at each other. And like you can clearly tell that like even though he still believes in his dumb shitty ways, he was still like he still considered Rick Flag a friend, and he was still like, like, please man, like don't make me do this. And I thought he
did it anyway.
And I thought he like, because you could clearly see that he had pain in his eyes, and like he clearly just didn't want to, like he considered Rick Flag a friend, and he clearly didn't want to do it, but which I'm sure we'll get into more of in that show, and more of why he's like that.
I mean, this goes without saying, but Viola Davis and her crew.
Oh yeah.
And the crew.
Oh yeah.
Her little.
Yeah, Steve Agee, Jennifer Holland, all that. Yeah.
Whoever was in that room with her just.
I think pretty much all of them are, except for Viola, are going to be in Peacemaker. So
yeah.
That'll be fun to see them. Oh yeah.
No, every single time that little group and Viola came on screen, it was...
That bit when Weasel jumps out of the plane.
And her face. Wait, her face.
Yeah, because you see the screen of him drowning, and she's just like... and then...
She gives the most lazy eye look with... I don't...
And then Michael Rooker pulls him up on shore, and he's just like, the Weasel's dead, and he throws her arms in the air. It's like, God damn it.
No, she's scary as fuck.
Oh yeah, that's why she's perfect for this role. That moment when she threatens Bloodsport's daughter with putting her in jail and getting people to murder her in jail, she's terrifying. Doesn't even flinch when he about to stab her in the neck with a pen.
Yeah, that's not even what like got me. Her like being like, I'm gonna put your kid. I'm like, that's just obviously evil. But the fact that I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm moving, I'm flinching, I'm doing something if someone fucking tried to stab me with a pen in my neck.
And then she raised her voice at anybody?
No, I love her.
Oh yeah. She's perfect for this role.
Yeah. I think it's really amazing that you have Margot Robbie and Viola Davis be perfectly casted.
Yeah, I just want to also add that everybody from the last movie who's in this movie, and by that I mean the only 4 people who are in this movie still, are so much better than they were in the first one. It's literally just Viola Davis, Joel Kinnaman, Margot Robbie, and Jai Courtney.
Yes.
Even Jai Courtney, for like the fucking 2 minutes he's in it, still so much better.
Right.
And we're back. Sorry, I have buffoons for dogs. Let's see. Okay. I thought the Harley escaping scene was probably the best action scene in the whole movie. Yeah. Would you agree?
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. The yes or no? Do you agree?
I definitely wowed. Like I said, wow by the end of it.
Real good. She's flipping and dipping and stabbing people in the foot.
She did what she had to do.
You know, mowing people down, breaking people with their breaking people's necks with their thighs. Yeah.
Not a single man. Which, by the way, that premiere was.
Well, no. Don't lie. One dude said, "Yeah."
It was me and one other dude. But whenever anyone else did anything,
specifically King Shark,
no, any other male, it was woos and hollering, but nothing for Miss Harley Quinn. You should all be ashamed of yourselves and should have been escorted out of the theater.
Get real aggressive with that mic.
I had some personal beef with every man and woman that did not woo. And they, them.
Choose the right pronouns.
Whatever your pronouns are.
Yeah.
No, but... Yeah, no, Margot Robbie always delivers. And of course, like... For as long as she'll be Harley Quinn, I will continuously go out of my way to watch it.
Yeah. Would you say that's why you think Birds of Prey is better than this?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think for me this is like it's I think this is better, but not by much. I think.
Not by much.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay. Okay, I guess. I also have Starro was rad. It's real rad. He was cool.
He had Harry Styles colors.
He did have Harry Styles colors. I loved
Extreme fine line.
I loved how he was even in this to begin with. Great villain choice. There was a thing that came out this week that said James originally wanted an evil Superman to be the bad guy of this movie, and then he realized that would be overdone by now. So he just went with Starro, and I thought much better choice. Did you like seeing them basically just rap on people's faces like
no
facehuggers from Aliens?
Not because it was bad, but because I felt like suffocated.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what department did that reveal scene of when they go into the lair.
Yeah.
And it's the people that were experimented on, and they were
people
trying
behind
to...
the cages and stuff. Yeah.
No, not just the cages.
Yeah.
But the people that were like being experimented on to take off the stars. Yeah. That was terrifying.
Oh yeah. There was that one shot of that guy.
It's not just the... Yes,
he had the star-shaped, like, flesh
imprint,
taken off.
And and it just... Or just, like, the lower half of someone's body being torn off. It's like, what was going on?
And they're still alive.
Were they?
Well, I think they say that whenever they get on your face, you basically are dead. And as long as they're alive, they control your body.
Oh, gosh.
So like technically, I think that they were still alive.
Yeah, that.
Well, I mean the bodies or the person is dead. That's why it wasn't such a big deal when what was his name? Bloodsport was just basically going ham on everybody towards the end. She'll be right back. She's just throwing something out.
I'll have to let them know.
I let them know everything.
I'll let them cut that out.
No one's going in. Anyway, let's see. What else was there? Yeah, Star Wars rad. I thought the third act really picked this movie up.
Before we talk about the third act, I want to talk about.
I just wanted to say.
What did you want to say?
That the third act really picked this movie up from the first two. The first half of this is a bit disjointed, but the second half on, like after the Starro reveal, and I don't mean the initial reveal where they look at him and throw all the old tapes. I mean literally when they get to the lab and Peter Capaldi just starts expositioning. From that moment on, the movie is genuinely really, really good.
So
like,
the end?
No, it was a good long time. It's like literally the last half of the movie. That's literally when we started watching it again from our second time and we picked it up again. That was literally the second half of the movie. And when it got real, real good. We were like, why couldn't the movie be all like this? But, yeah, and I love that final battle. I loved how everybody felt like they were utilized properly. I thought it had the best joke of the whole movie, which was was it Idris Elba yelling at Polka Dot Man. He's just like, you see how that is? He's like, huh? He goes, it's your mom. He looks up, it's just this giant woman punching the building.
Yes, if only we could get much more, if we could have gotten much more humor like that. And I'm not talking with just the gag of, like, Polka Dot Man's mom.
That gag was
No, that gag
funny.
Was great.
Hysterical.
It wasn't overused in my opinion. It was rightly put.
Because it literally was only brought up 2 times, right? No, it was brought up 3 times. Sorry, the initial time when he tells everybody what it is, and then the second time is when you literally see what he sees everybody as, and then the third time. I thought that was really good. And then obviously was it Ratcatcher calling all the rats?
No, but can we talk about Polka Dot Man?
Yeah, you can talk about Polka Dot Man. Mr. Dust Malchin.
Oh, I love this man. I love him so much. Yeah. And he adopted a cat from Panama.
That's why you like him.
No, that's not why.
If you don't know, she loves cats.
Yes.
She's obsessed with cats. She's like the real life cat woman. She's a cat lady.
And he got a little suit made for him. Or her, whatever.
For her.
Yeah. Do we know the name of the cat?
Oh god, I forget the name of it. But yeah, it's a her. I remember him saying it's a her. Okay. Yeah.
No, he was the best part of the film for me personally. Yeah. I
think aside from Viola Davis and John Cena, he gave one of the best performances.
And Margot Robbie, obviously.
And Margot Robbie, obviously, yeah. Well, that's probably the best compliment for her, because I literally didn't really think of Margot as Harley Quinn. I just thought of Harley Quinn the character. Right. Probably the best compliment you can have.
Right. It's like she's her own.
Yeah, because at least with because even with John Cena, I still, even though I liked him as Peacemaker, I still pretty much just saw John Cena. But yeah, I still liked him as that.
No, I just think that Polka Dot Man is the perfect blend of
dumb but emotional.
Not dumb, but just.
That's probably my one disappointment with him, is that in the comics his polka dots do different things, but in this he just
gets one.
It's like melting polka dots.
It's like a laser kind of.
Yeah, in the books he'll make a little force field, make a little flying disc thing, Yeah. I wish I would have seen more of that, but I get why.
I love his arc of just going from this completely
he wants to kill himself.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care if I die.
Yeah.
Into this right before his fucking Doom.
Mm-hmm.
He's all proud of himself.
I'm a superhero.
His face is just like, oh my gosh, I just want to hug him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna reincarnate into his cat.
Who would you say of the main group was the weakest link?
Please don't hate me. All you bros that are Ratcatcher too.
Yeah.
Yes. And before I go into it, she was the character I was looking forward to the most to be on screen.
Danielle Melchior, yeah.
Yes, I am a personal lover of mice, rats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're disgusting. I think they're very cute. I very much agree with Taika Waititi's character as her dad and the whole...
What does he say? He says,
that rats
he says, rats are the most despised creatures of all, but they have purpose, so do we all.
Yes, whatever message that was.
It's pretty much that, yeah.
Yeah. And
I thought that scene was great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But and Sebastian, right?
Sebastian the rat.
Sebastian the rat.
I'm not shaking the rat's hand.
Oh, but the fact that his name is Jaws is the cutest thing. I forget. There was 2 rats that played Sebastian.
Yeah. Or was the reference for Sebastian?
Yeah. The reference for Sebastian, yes. Yeah. No, but I think that Ratcatcher 2 was the weakest just because of line delivery. Also,
I mentioned it before. She's essentially the Star-Lord of this group. Who do you think was better executed, Star-Lord or her?
Obviously Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt slander coming next. I cannot stand that man, but I cannot deny that he eats up that role, and he is entertaining. I love him. I love how he portrays the character. I think he does him solid.
He's one of those characters where even though he makes arguably very dumb and emotional decisions, like specifically in like Infinity War where he smacks the shit out of Thanos, you understand completely where he's coming from. He's a very traumatized person.
She just felt Ratcatcher 2 just felt really bland, very like I don't know what it was.
Would you say it would have been better if she was the main character?
No.
From her point of view? No. Because, I mean, to be fair, because, like, I wouldn't say she's, like, the only, like, good person, because obviously there's Rick Flag. But, like, all of the criminals and the supervillains, like, she's the most normal.
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about this, too. I don't understand why she was put in that group to begin with.
Amanda Waller.
No. I know how, but I don't know why.
She explains in the movie.
No. I know why. Yeah. I'm just saying... It's like you literally have Idris Elba as Bloodsport who like murders people, right? Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah, John Cena.
Well, you can also make the case for like Harley Quinn. Why is this insane woman?
Because she's
on the team.
Actually, the rest of them I can look at villains.
Yeah.
Ratcatcher 2 seems just like a very misunderstood, very not wrong place, wrong time, but just like, it just...
Why do you think that's the point? I think the point is that she is just... Because she says in the movie that she was just... You know, she says that her and her father were very poor and her dad died from a very young age. I understand that,
but I guess but
she really But she robs a bank using the rats.
I know,
and they used that as like a major, like... way of saying, you know, like she used a weapon against people or like that.
But I see the others with ill intentions. Like I do see the others a little bit more in.
What I've been trying to say is that, again, like I think that's what's great about the Amanda Waller scene of her basically threatening Bloodsport of basically like threatening to murder his daughter is that like she has connections, and not only that, but like because that's I think what the first movie got so wrong was that like she made like everything a big deal of like I chose these specific group members because like I think these group of people can like do the things I want to do. I think that movie gets so wrong the premise of the Suicide Squad, which is in that movie she says I am assembling this task force of these specific group members so if Superman ever goes bad again or somebody like Superman comes to take over the world, we'll have this group of people who can take them down. And it's like, what the fuck is Harley Quinn gonna do against Superman? You know what I mean? What's Captain Boomerang gonna do against Superman?
They'll find a way. They'll always find a way.
But not if you just thrust them into it. You know what I mean?
Know.
Like, like what I'm trying to say is that with this movie, they made it more like she's just choosing people who have somewhat extraordinary skills,
but
who could be useful.
It's not even her that's useful.
No, I know.
She uses rats
with
a wand. And she's just really nice.
She's also the one who helps defeat. She also the one helps defeat Starro.
No, it was Sebastian and his clan of rats.
Who used the magic wand?
Obviously, Ratcatcher, but it's all she had to do was pull up the wand.
Yeah.
I could have done that.
She also says she literally has to talk to the rats.
Oh my god, it's so hard to do. See, this is what's also disappointing.
Well, I don't know why you're getting mad.
Because I was so excited.
Uh-huh.
And she just... I just...
I think it's one of those things where you have a problem, but you know the answer to your problem.
What's
but you
the
still
answer?
have a problem
What's
with it.
the answer to my problem?
No, your problem is that you don't understand why she's a part of this team, or why she's forced to be a part of this team.
I just think, like, okay, obviously it's bad to rob a bank, but the way she delivered her story, it was just like I guess innocence, child. It's like talking to a kid who got put in timeout and was just like, I didn't think what I did was that bad.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that it's all Amanda Waller. That's what the whole point.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's like the whole point of that scene was of her telling Bloodsport about what he can do to his daughter. Is that like if she could somehow manipulate things to have her tried as his teenager, tried as an adult, have her transferred to this supermax prison where there's literal supervillains there, and have her coincidentally, murdered. I think she could find a way to have some low-time thief transferred into,
This just reflects on all the people who are in prison nowadays that do not need to be in prison.
And that's why Amanda Waller is such an interesting character, because it's very much like, who's the real villain? Is it the supervillains or this bitch? I
mean, it's we know the answer.
Her.
Yes.
That's the whole point,
Yeah,
that's why her character's so interesting.
I don't know. I didn't hate Ratcatcher 2. It's just... Yeah. She did not deliver it for me.
No.
She was...
I thought she was good. I just think that she just wasn't that... I do think she could have been better, but,
When you put her next to literally everyone else... I think she does stick out with, like, it's performance-wise. Like, it's, I mean, also she hasn't been in many things, so, like, I can't really blame her.
Yeah.
And she did her best.
Yeah.
Like, it's not horrible. It's not a horrible performance. It's just the delivery of her lines sometimes was just, like, eh.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's the lines she was given or her literal delivery, but it wasn't adding up for me.
I don't know. Could be a mix of both.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't know. I think basically went through everybody. Because, there's not much to say about, like, King Shark. Just...
Oh, no, yes, there is. Are you kidding me? My heart... if I didn't cry... Taika Waititi's speech about the rats, I cried Or I definitely teared up when everyone was in the club having a good time, and James Gunn just fucking used the shot.
And then it cuts to King Shark. He's just bumping in the car. Like,
oh, he's not even bumping. He's just like looking through the window.
No, he's bumping. No, he's bumping. He's just sitting there in the back, like facing like inwards towards the car.
I don't think he's bumping. I think he was just peeking through the window.
I think you're specifically talking the scene of when they're driving into the city and he's looking out and he sees everybody interacting. I think that's
either way.
Yeah. When he meets his new dumb friend.
Any scene with him, I just felt so bad for him.
Mm-hmm. New dumb friends.
I was like, this is so relatable.
Yeah, it's like a big old child.
No, he's just.
Who's cuter, King Shark or any of the Groots?
No, because my heart like pains at the thought of King Shark, and then like nothing really bad happens to Groot.
Mm-hmm.
What he comes back in 3 different ways. Meanwhile, King Shark is getting fucked up by some
little squishy.
Yeah, like animated fish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I think any scene with King Shark was.
I think it's just because he's the most simple of them all.
It was so simple. It was so cute.
Yeah.
But it was very effective.
Yeah, I do think he's probably just as good as any of the Groots from the Guardians movies. They're essentially the same roles, but I do think this was executed differently enough that it was very It was still fun to enjoy, and I like Sylvester Stallone's voice, and I think he was perfectly fit well with that voice.
Oh yeah.
That kind of deep baritone, but like kind of innocent. Innocent kind of voice. Yeah. Big dumb child. Yeah.
No, it was. I definitely cried whenever he came on screen.
So smart, me.
He was smart.
Holding the book upside down.
At least he fucking lived.
And then I think that just basically leaves that leaves 2. Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. So much better. So much better. I cannot stress that enough than the first movie. So much better.
I don't remember the first movie, so I'm just
exactly
by default he just did better.
He was just generic ass white man in the first one.
He looks different.
He looks so much different in both body type and just build, haircut.
I have to say that because that is the third act, that scene
of him fighting John Cena.
Yeah. That leads to his death.
Oh yeah, that's probably one of the best acted scenes in the whole movie.
Like his last lines to Peacemaker, because Peacemaker stabs him in the
Mortal
fucking
Kombat style in the heart.
In the heart, and you see it.
And then
that's another thing about this movie.
Like, the gore. I
am a squeamish person. I don't like the sight of blood.
I think it's not like,
and it's not that I was squeamish.
I don't think it's like,
I was just like,
I don't think it's as bad. It's like it's not nearly as bad as like something like watching like the Saw movies. Or whatever. It's more Deadpool.
Unless we're talking about that starfish, or not the starfish, but the whatever.
Yeah, Starro scene.
Yeah.
That
if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that scene is great. Because I did like that difference, because in the comics they more like once Starro. Because obviously he's not dead, but like once he like goes away, or they manage to get him away or defeat him or anything like that, they pretty much just slide off. Whereas this, it definitely feels more like a face hugger from Aliens, where they're like on your face and they will like and they even say again in the movie like you basically, when they get on your face, you're basically dead, and it's them controlling your body. Right. So. Yeah. And I especially like that. Just someone else thing. I especially like that moment when it's before the rats come, and that one lady who is like, because basically Starro's thing is that, he shoots out starfish from his armpits, and he controls everybody, and they all share his mind, so like he communicates through all people he controls.
He just screams.
Oh yeah, and that one lady just it's like this, it's like gravelly voice. I thought that was great. And or like that moment when, obviously Polka Dot Man shoots all of his polka dots at the one leg, and you see his mom is like giving like the all face, but then everyone's doing the same thing of like grabbing their leg. Going,
I am so mad that he died.
Oh, Polka Dot Man.
Yes.
Get smushed.
That hurt my heart. I was literally, I'm like, I'm gonna cry again.
Is that why you have no opinion on Starro? Because you're like,
I mean,
smush the bits.
I
mean, to be fair, it's one of those things where it's like, obviously, yes, you're supposed to be sad that like he died and stuff like that, but like at the same time, it is like
that's what he wanted.
It is what he wanted, and they there's nothing else to do with him. It's not like this.
What?
I mean, in the sense of like, like, oh, they could have used him in like another sequel or anything like that. Like, he has an arc through the whole movie. He gets to complete it. It's not like, if they killed off Superman, which they have done in this universe. But like, like he served his purpose.
I don't
Doesn't
think
really need
so.
to come back.
No, absolutely not.
But that's the point.
No.
Is that you wanted you wanted him to live and come back, but that way. She's giving me the mean look. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah. Last one, I guess. Main character of this movie. Idris Elba as Bloodsport. I think significant improvement again of Will Smith.
Course.
Of Will Smith in the first one.
But I love Will Smith.
I do love Will Smith. And to be fair, he plays Will Smith in that movie, which is half the reason why that role worked for him. But at the end of the day, I will not remember him as Deadshot in the movie. I remember him as Will Smith in that movie, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, even their shtick, they feel the same. Those two characters, Bloodsport and Deadshot, they feel the same, but they're technically different.
Right.
Bloodsport is just a guy who's known for shooting Superman. They say in the movie and in the comic books.
But isn't there both of their things that they don't miss?
No.
Well, isn't Deadshot? That's what
Deadshots.
that's what he does.
Yeah. But the
that
thing
he
is with
never
him,
misses.
Yeah, that he's the man who never misses. But the whole thing with him is that he makes impossible shots, and he's known for trick shots. So he's known for like, if people are hiding behind cover, he'll be able to pinpoint, okay, if I shoot a bullet and then it bounces off, it'll hit this guy in the head. That's what he's known for. And stuff like that, like famous trick shots. He does one trick shot the entire movie of that first one. One. His introduction scene. Everything else, he's just doing blah, 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 blah. That's why it's dumb.
Okay.
I'm just trying to say, him doing, like, that was his most memorable thing in that whole movie, was in the beginning. Everything else he's doing generic, as opposed to Idris Elba building his giant Nerf gun at the end, which was awesome. It was awesome of him building that whole giant Nerf gun thing. I want that now.
I think his rat phobia was stupid.
I mean, it was funny.
It was, yeah, sure. I got a laugh or two.
Oh my god, that scene where John Cena comes up in his underwear.
Oh yeah.
It's like, the fuck are you talking about? Tight whities?
That's just racist.
That's just racist.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, John Cena, like, literally came into any scene.
Did you like the joke of them having the same exact backstory? And he's like, are you
yes,
having
yes,
a laugh?
yes. It's like...
We're having a laugh. Basically, the joke, well, if you've seen the movie, basically the joke is that Amanda Waller says she chooses people for their unique set of skills and whatever like that, and she then claims that Bloodsport and John Cena have the exact same backstory of having abusive fathers who torture them and abuse them and then turn them into assassins.
Yeah.
But I think Idris Elba gave a much better performance. I thought the scene of him with Storm Reed was so good.
Stop! That gave me chills.
When they're saying "fuck you" so much to each other, that scene was really good. I thought it was so much better, and I even pointed out my review of that moment when when Idris Elba's just like it's like I don't know why you fucking did that. It's embarrassing. And Storm Reed's just like, you know what's embarrassing? It's happening to you as my father. And then,
I was like, oh, I felt that, and I'm not a dad.
And then I cut to what was it, Will Smith and his daughter in that movie, and she's like, Mom says I can't live with you because you kill people, and he's just like, that's not true. That's a lie. She's lying to you. Just night and day of just better performance.
Right.
I think Will Smith works as him.
I also love the how him and Peacemaker always try to one up each other.
Oh yeah.
Especially when they're at the
camp. That was a good reveal, because I was like, even the build to it, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a generic, not generic. It was like fun, but it was just kind of like like all this kind of action scene is kind of happening, but then like the reveal of oh, they were the good guys.
Yeah, my mouth dropped. I was like...
That shit was so funny.
People were getting slaughtered in the worst... And Ratcatcher didn't do anything.
No,
Did she?
She had rats in one of the guy's bags, and it went up in his mouth or something. Yeah.
So she is evil.
Yeah. She threatened...
I'm joking.
She threatened Thinker of... If he pissed her off, she would have like 12 rats crawl up his ass. And then he was
that's
like
justifiable.
He's just like, and then he was just like, well, that wouldn't be the worst thing I've ever done. That was a good thing. That was a good bit.
Oh, are you sure it wasn't 4 times the mom joke? Because doesn't Polka Dot Man see his mom in the dance sequence?
Oh yes, that was another one.
That was another one.
That was a good one. That's probably my big thing with this movie. If we want to get into cons, I guess is scene.
No, let's start from the beginning with that.
Okay, because my biggest problem, like as a film wise, is that scene immediately follows or is very close to the bar scene is very close to the Harley scene, which I think on its own is a very good scene, but it doesn't really fit with this movie.
It's called La Gatita something.
Yeah, the bar they're at, yeah. Because I think like that's supposed to be the slow moment of the movie, but then right beforehand is the B story of Harley. And I think that...
But for what it was, I think that little speech she gives...
Yeah, because that's what makes me love that scene. Because that makes me love that scene.
No, that was such good writing.
Yeah.
I love how she's just like... Yeah.
Because in when he was promoting it, he was always saying, whenever people asked him, like, who was your favorite character, right? He always said Harley Quinn. And I can clearly tell, because
I love how her stupid tattoos are removed.
A lot of them are.
Yes.
Specifically the one on her chin.
Stupid, rotten one.
Yeah.
She is written so much better, obviously.
Than the first one.
Well, obviously, because James Gunn put actual respect...
You can clearly tell he loves his character.
Yeah, but not only that, but I'm pretty sure Margot Robbie was most definitely like crying for help, being like, help me.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Birds of Prey already happened, but
yeah,
it's nice that she definitely got a say in what because everything about it, from the first Suicide Squad to this one, it's obviously night and day. It's like, it's just so sexist the way she's written and portrayed.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got like some dignity.
And when she does,
a lot more dignity.
And when she's glued to the hip at Jared Leto in that movie, which I think.
But that's why I like her.
Awful. But,
her little speech of just like,
looking for red flags.
Looking for red flags, and just that line of like, guys like the ones I'm into don't stay too far, or whatever she says.
Yeah. Like, I basically have the worst
choice
in partners.
Right. That she just attracts these assholes.
Yeah.
So she's like,
terrible people, yeah. Poor judge of character.
Right.
Yeah. Which is why, what is it? Is very, a lot of people point out it's very touching when, because she feels, sort of, abandoned and stuff like that. Her feeling is, her whole thing is trying to feel, belonging and stuff like that. Like, who does she kind of belong with and stuff like that, and why, like, that moment of her finding out, like, the squad was going to save her and stuff like that, and her hugging Rick Flag was kind of like a big moment for her, because it was like, oh, like, people care about me,
Yes, she is.
I know.
The poster child for abusive relationships.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that little hug Rick Flag gives with his gun.
Oh my gosh. No, but it's just so like sweet. It's definitely like the fact she's like, they're like,
let me go back inside.
Yeah. She like escapes and like sees them in the process of rescuing her. She's like, oh, you guys were gonna save me. And they're like, well, not anymore. It's like, I can go back in. No, but like
really good plan too.
No, like, you can definitely see the good heart that she
clearly has. Yeah.
Well,
they definitely have made.
Is
her...
it good heart, or does she like? She just values that friendship.
She's clearly insane, but she's obviously
not her fault.
Yeah, but she's obviously has someone now best intentions.
Oh my god, we both have psych backgrounds.
Yeah, I know.
Twins.
Yeah. Because that whole relationship is so interesting, and I feel they really botched it in that first one. Because they
what relationship?
Her and the Joker is just so...
No, it's illegal to talk about that.
Well, yeah, because people don't understand it. It's just... No, because, like, it is, like, that whole relationship is so monumental, because, like, it was really the first time, and, like... Because obviously she was first made for the animated series, and then that was, like, that episode of her origin story was, like, the first time, emotional and abuse and physical abuse in a relationship was really ever talked about in a kid's show and stuff like that, and have it be, entangled with Batman and stuff like that, and have her be so popular because of that story that she became part of the comic books, and now she's so detached from the Joker.
I just want to say that nobody should be idolizing Harley Quinn
and Joker,
but especially in the first Suicide Squad.
I think if you
that is my red flag.
I do think if you want to see more of that explored, definitely check out that animated show that's on HBO Max. I think because I don't ever think we'll ever see her and Jared Leto as those two again.
And we shouldn't.
Yeah, we really shouldn't, because he's a fucking piece of shit.
I just don't.
If you just want to know more about how terrible he was on that set, just look up, like, was it Jared Leto Joker pranks?
It's been how many years? I'm pretty sure people know about the dumb things. Yeah,
but like the specific things, he sent like a dead pig to like the cast rating table. He sent like used condoms and dildos and sex toys to everybody. He sent a live rat.
I think that's why. I guess as a viewer watching this film, knowing all the dumb shit that was pulled on in the first film, like it was just a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's why this time around it's kind of like I'm not holding my breath.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I guess by watching how not the characters, but the actual actors, like it just you can see like how much they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
They loved being there, as opposed to like that first time around was just so awkward for the original 4.
You know what's funny is that I was actually watching behind the scenes the other day for that movie, And what's really funny is that
For which one?
The 2016 one.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny is that you can tell behind the scenes that
it just
like
felt probably tense.
No. With the exception of Jared Leto, everyone got along.
No. I'm
like,
not saying not getting along.
Yeah.
It just like
they like loved each other and stuff like
yes,
that.
I'm not.
Like,
but can you imagine just like?
I can only imagine like when he comes outside.
That's what
like,
I mean. But that's what I mean. I mean, from the looks of it, nobody's. Saying
asking for more.
No, not like there wasn't a Jared Leto in this bunch.
Oh yeah, thankfully. Which was the biggest weak link from that first one because he was just awful in that
movie. Yeah.
The worst. But yeah, if you definitely like, because I do think that whole relationship of Harley and the Joker is very interesting. But if you would like to see that more explored, check out either the original 90s animated series or the new one, the actual Harley Quinn show that is out.
They do a good job with her too.
Yeah, you've only seen like the first couple episodes. I think you would if you watch more, because that's more what I wanted. That show was more or less what I wanted Birds of Prey to be, which was her interacting with Poison Ivy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
whatever.
I loved Birds of Prey.
Yeah,
9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess getting back to my last thing. Yeah, Idris Elba is much better in this.
Oh yeah, Idris Elba.
Idris Elba is much better in this. I just think that he, I just think it's just because
I think the gripe is because like we're not seeing anything new. We're still seeing.
It's one of those things where it's like, yes, he is a different character in a Deadshot, but like when you look at him at a very basic level, it is pretty similar. Yeah. He's got the daughter background and motivation. He has the same pretty similar abilities. He's a guy in body armor, in pretty big body armor. He's a good shot, he's good with guns and all that sort of stuff. He's kind of meant to be the team leader, but, in the sarcastic kind of smart mouth. But, there is obviously enough differences between them that obviously makes it different.
No, but he's still so enjoyable. Like, it's not...
Oh, yeah.
I don't really think...
He's clearly the better character. And it's great that they actually picked a character that is African-American who was a Superman villain in the comics, as opposed to just what many people would complain about, which was just, race changing another character, which was essentially what they did with Deadshot in the first one. But I think nobody complained at all that much with Will Smith because it's Will Smith, and that's why. But I think with this, it was the good call to make, because like that
to make him black.
No,
I'm so confused.
No, in this to actually choose like an African American supervillain as opposed to just doing that.
Is he black in the comics?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that it was probably the better call, because then that way you don't have to deal with those people. And then also...
The racists?
The racist. And also elevating this...
the people that don't want to see...
But also elevating...
People of color?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In films?
Those morons.
In white Hollywood?
Yeah. But also like elevating this like character who was barely in the comic books at all.
Yeah.
Even his outfit, like, I was giving praise to Peacemaker and Polka Dot Man for their pretty much comic accurate suits, but Bloodsport's like the biggest, like literally no similarities at all to his comic. His comic costume is literally just the Ninja Turtle face mask, but like as a bandana, a black wife beater, camo pants, and then like a I forget what they're called, but like a bullet belt thing.
Oh, the little strap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his outfit in the comics, and he's just a big buff black dude. That's it. So in this,
good for him.
So this by comparison, much different.
He's got the alien helmet.
Yeah, the alien helmet, which looks sick. I like how he. I think that's his main shtick in the books, is that he can.
Does he have weapons, that in?
He has weapons. he can have weapons teleported to him, but in this they changed it to he has little like trinkets on his body, which I do think is a pretty cool.
But we've seen that before.
I mean, yeah, it does feel very Iron Man-y from the Infinity War when like when his suit kind of forms around him, it does kind of feel like that.
Sure.
But
No, but truly nothing but good things to say about Idris Elba.
No, yeah. It's just a shame that like him and Deadshot are
yeah, but I mean, I don't
basic structure wise.
I don't even remember Deadshot too much. I don't really care for the first Suicide Squad. I don't care to rewatch. It's dead in my mind. So I'm starting.
So you're not a part of the release the air cut?
No, I fell asleep during that movie twice.
That one is one where you can definitely feel the studio interference of that, because the editing in that movie, especially the first half, is atrocious because it was done by a trailer studio and not by David Ayer himself.
Yeah, that trailer does slap.
Yeah. So, yeah. I understand why people are calling for that, but it's one of those movies where I genuinely don't think, because apparently, like, unlike the Snyder Cut, where it is essentially two completely different movies that just follow the same plot structure, apparently the Ayer Cut's really not too much different. It's just told differently. Yeah. That's about it.
Well, I guess all in all.
Well, I think my last.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would say my last real complaint is the pacing in the first half is a bit off, and it's because they do the back and forth, like, this was like, here's what's happening now, but let's go back to earlier, and that kind of story structure. And I think at first it was fine, but I think it kept doing it a couple times, and that was just kind of like, it just kind of, like by the time towards the end, like, I think the best utilization of it was towards the end
when Ratcatcher was ready to die,
and then comes back to, I think that was the best time it was used. But other than that, it was just kind of a bit,
It was mismatch.
It wasn't so much confusing because it was still simple enough to follow.
Yeah.
But I would say, it kind of disrupted the pacing because, again, like, having the Harley scene where it was pretty slow and pretty long, immediately followed by them going to the bar, that was kind of just, it kind of felt like the slow scene really dragged out.
Yeah. Like, I know,
at least for me anyway,
that this movie is called The Suicide Squad. I know that there's like 1 million actors. Yeah. I know that people were going to die.
Mm. You're talking about the opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
What my gripe with it is, like, I definitely wished we got a little bit more time. I feel like if that Harley montage was cut out, Harley Quinn montage cut out, that they could have put a little bit more time, even if it was like 5 more minutes. Like,
I still think they give you enough with these characters that, like, you still get them.
It was the plane scene and then the going to dropping out of the airplane and going to
because some of them you don't need that much into. You don't need more with, Weasel or something like that.
That's your opinion. I would have liked to see more Weasel.
I thought he was perfectly utilized as the ultimate joke character.
That thing was scary. That thing was not cute. I literally...
Stop. That shit looks like me.
If you ever wonder what Sam looks like, he just looks like the Weasel.
Literally, when that scene of him coming out of that truck and screeching, that's just me every morning. That's me getting ready for work. Just coming out of my car, about to go into work, just going...
No, it just... I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's just a feeling. It's a feeling that I can't describe. That I just feel unsatisfied. I feel so unsatisfied with...
Do you think it was that specific group of characters and that's why? Or do you think it was just the way it was executed?
No, I don't care about, like, who was used. Mm-hmm. Like, I think their introductions to them were all fine.
Mm.
I especially liked who was the guy with the
Javelin.
Yes. Yes.
Might give him Olaf accents.
I would die for 5 more minutes.
Yeah, with Javelin.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the little on his deathbed and
that was a good joke.
And given
when
Harley
when Harley's
Quinn,
like, it's just like
the slaps.
Did you what? I did like that joke, and then I liked at the end when they're about to go face off Star, she's like, I finally know what they use it for, and then she uses the stab Star on the eye.
Her swimming with the rats.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
Oh my god. I know we already talked about Sebastian, but
all the rats.
I literally looked over at Sam in the middle of this movie. Not in the middle, but when he was shortly introduced. No, shortly after the rat, Sebastian was introduced.
He does a little wave at Idris Elba.
I looked over to him and said, if anything happens to that rat, James Gunn is going to hear my wrath on Twitter that I don't have a Twitter account.
You were especially...
I was like, I'll make a Twitter account just to...
And you were especially like, what was it? You were definitely on edge because it was that one shot of all the rats climbing up Starro and he was in the front and you were like, oh my god, they're going to kill him off.
No, that wasn't that. It was when, oh gosh, what was the scene? Where Sebastian's trying to get Ratcatcher 2 out of the rubble.
Mm.
I was like, oh my god, if a rock falls on that rat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he was super, super cute.
Mm.
I love his little jacket.
Did you like at the end, the last moment in the whole movie was
stop that.
Getting over his rat fear and
CGI is getting way too good because it was.
That's what everyone. Surprisingly, that's what everyone is critiquing Marvel about now because they're not really shooting on location anymore. They're just shooting it from a blue screen.
I'm looking at you. Episode, what was it, 9? Did WandaVision get 9 episodes?
Episode 9.
Yeah. Trash.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
It's been how many months since that show's been out? And I will, on my deathbed, I will argue that they could have done better.
Yeah.
And I will never, ever let them down with that.
Because that was the thing, apparently, that Kevin Feige was, like, super surprised about. Because Chloe Zhao, when she was filming Eternals, was like, I want to film all on location. So that's what they did for majority of the movie. And there's, like, barely any, like, real blue or green screen in it. And he was like, oh, wow. Real environments look really good. Yeah. He's just like, no shit, Kevin.
No shit, Kevin.
Because it's real. Probably less expensive and you don't have to make these poor CGI VFX people. Yeah. We don't have to pay that much because of labor.
Well, yeah. I thought it was definitely a real rat until it did the yawn and I was like, oh yeah, they would have been there. All year just trying to capture a rat yawning.
Yeah. Mm. But yeah, so. Yeah.
Yeah, the real star was Sebastian. And Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
The leaf joke.
Oh, yeah. Well, he wants to just give you a leaf. Oh, fuck, I want a leaf. What's a fucking leaf?
Oh.
I do like the idea of the joke of, like, despite the fact they're all, like, office working people, none of Amanda Waller's team did that much research into any of them. Like, the fact that nobody knew that Weasel couldn't swim.
And he lives.
He just barely lives. Or that Bloodsport has a severe rat phobia.
Right.
It's like, wouldn't it be, like, one of the first things you know before pairing somebody like this very skilled assassin with somebody whose literal shtick is controlling rats?
Literally working with a shark.
Yeah.
But the rat is where he crosses the line.
But yeah.
Yeah. I guess all in all, my feelings about this movie is...
You're surprisingly not too negative on it.
I think I got that all out of the way.
Mm.
I think because heart and soul did go into this. It's... Yeah. I appreciate more, I guess,
as we
on
said
the
before,
background and the relationships. And I know it's like reviewing the movie itself is like, would I watch it again? Probably not for a long time.
Would you recommend this?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, I would never, like, discourage anyone from watching any movie because...
But, like, if somebody...
No, I know. Like, I know what you mean. Yeah. No, yeah, like, I'm not... It's not Justice League. It's not...
The first one.
It's not the first Suicide Squad. Like, it's definitely entertaining. It's just... I don't know. I was expecting to like it. I like Guardians 1 more than I like this film. And
It's been a while since you've seen that one.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
If I had to pick between watching the Suicide Squad and Guardians 1, I would pick Guardians 1.
Yeah.
And nothing can touch Guardians 2.
Yeah. I think for me, this is probably above Guardians 1. Probably because I think...
Not us relating it to Guardians in scale.
No, because it is a James Gunn film. And I do think that first one, I went into it, everybody praising the shit out of it and being like, oh my god, it's the best. It's one of the best movies. Because that is a lot of people's favorite movies of all time. And I don't necessarily think that first one is. I can understand why, but I don't necessarily think so. I do think this is better than that one, but not by much. Just because
I can't believe you can kind of feel the people that...
Because I can feel the amount of freedom James had with this one as opposed to the first Guardians, where you can kind of tell Marvel had their hands in it.
Yeah, but I can't believe the amount of people that justify... I mean, it's your opinion, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just find it really...
I don't blame people who are giving us perfect scores.
No. I mean, like, liking Guardians 1 over 2.
Yeah.
But that's for another day.
Yeah, I think that's another day. When 3 comes out, probably. But yeah.
Not horrible. I got my laughs. I was engaged. But definitely...
What would you say... I know you said you think Birds of Prey is much better than this.
Yes.
But compared to the... Because you literally have seen... Of the recent DC movies, you have literally seen all of them except the Snyder trilogy. So compared to all of those, what would you say?
This is below...
Because if I can remember, there's like Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman. What would you say is better?
God, they're about equal.
About
maybe the Suicide Squad's a little bit...
Yeah.
Higher.
Yeah.
Actually, whoa! I'm comparing this to Wonder Woman. Never mind.
The first one.
For sure, with the Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah. Obviously much better than 2017 Justice League. Aquaman.
I fucking hated Aquaman.
Aquaman is very dumb but fun.
We've met Jason Momoa. Nothing against Jason.
Yeah. Also, because he's working with...
we don't talk about that.
with her.
We don't get to say her name.
That lady.
She should be fired.
A mean lady. Shazam.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. That's very forgetful. It's a cute movie, but I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember how that movie starts, middle, or ends.
The next one's coming out.
But Zachary Levi is very cute and...
Jack, what's his name? Jack Dylan Grazer. What do you mean?
He's got accusations too.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
The friend?
Jack Dylan Grazer.
Yeah.
The one that...
Oh, what about?
I'll tell you off screen.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I definitely told you that.
Oh, is it about the drugs?
The drugs?
Is he doing
No!
drugs? Or the other one?
The other one?
Yeah, the one who plays actual young Shazam. I think he got caught.
I don't care. I don't care.
I don't know. Joker. I know it's technically not part of the DCEU, but technically, but like of the recent DC films. I thought this was better than that. That one feels like it's a shame to be a comic book movie.
All I can say is that The Suicide Squad,
and obviously better than Wonder Woman 84.
Like my favorite DC film is Birds of Prey, and below that would be The Suicide Squad, and then everything else a lot of these movies are very not memorable. Just yeah. I think in the moment when I watch them, whatever year they came out in, like, yeah, I just haven't seen any of them, like, recently enough for me to truly have an opinion on where I can rank them. But I do know that Birds of Prey left the biggest impression on me, and, like, I walked out of that film pumped. Which I'm very mad that.
And you know what's really funny? Because John Cena's in this movie. Technically, the next DCEU movie is Black Adam, which is The Rock's movie.
Cute.
So they're technically both in the same universe, and one is significantly more powerful than the other.
Pull up our letterbox. I forget what I give this movie.
I think you gave this
6? People are gonna be like, really?
Yeah,
you talk so much like
positive about it. You're only giving it 6.
Well, that was my.
How dare you?
That was my experience.
You're fool.
That was my experience.
It's just kind of okay.
Yes, it's just like overall like. Like we've been saying, my highs are definitely Harley Quinn, the Rats, Polka Dot Man. Shark King.
I think the best way to describe it is that there's
Viola Davis.
Yeah, I don't think there's things that you downright hate in this movie, but there's just things that you think could have improved.
Yeah, it just like.
Yeah. Which is the opposite of the first movie.
It just definitely picks up in that third act, and by the time it's the third act for a reason.
Yeah.
So I
do think it's
a little bit more than half of the movie just being like, oh my gosh.
I do think of all the third acts, it's definitely James's best. You know? In terms of like excitement and, you know, like in terms of like a final battle. Because I like the third act of Guardians too, but like emotionally, I do think that. But I think in terms of action wise, I think. Because that's always kind of like, I think I want to say is kind of his. Because in all of his films, his biggest weakness, I would say, is he always has one really, really good action scene, and then the rest are just kind of eh. You know, I think for Guardians 2, it's the Yondu and Rocket and Groot take out all the
I think there was more than one good action scene in
I'm talking about
the
like
Suicide Squad.
No, because I think with like the Guardians.
I can name you 3 right now.
Because that's what I'm trying to say. Because that's what I'm trying to say with this is that I think this is the better. Because in terms of like an action scene, I think the third act of this is better. But I think for the other 2 Guardians movies, I think like because like the first one, there's only that prison escape scene that's like the best scene, and then after that, all the action scenes are just kind of whatever. Your standard Marvel spaceships are flying around doing whatever, and the second one is just kind of, again, except with the Yondu scene, Ravager scene, I think the ending is great emotionally, but I think action-wise it's just kind of whatever. Whereas this, the action is everywhere. Again, seeing Idris Elba build his giant Nerf gun, it's pretty rad.
Screaming at everyone what to do.
Screaming at everyone to do. Having his Hulk smash moment with King Shark.
Well, yeah. I think
man about his mom.
I think I said everything I needed to say about this film.
I guess so.
I It's definitely worth a watch. Definitely support this movie.
Yes, definitely, because despite everyone saying that it's a flop, it isn't really, because there's so many factors to it. First of all, it's R-rated, so that leaves out a whole bunch of people. It came out same day as HBO Max, and it is a sequel to a quote-unquote sequel to a very terrible movie.
And we're in a pandemic still.
So take all those factors in, people, before you're like, First Suicide Squad is so much better.
It's like, yeah, we all saw the same
Release
trailer.
it.
We
Yeah.
all saw the same trailer.
back
We
in
wanted
time.
to go watch it.
Go back in time, steal it, bring it back here, release it now. Guarantee you, not doing that well.
Right. But what did you, before we go, what did
I
you...
would give it an 8. I think it's the best DCEU film kind of by default. I think just because it feels a less studio meddled. I think it's the strongest emotionally. I think Birds of Prey is a close second. But I think, I think the only really good ones of these movies are this, Birds of Prey, the first Wonder Woman is good. Shazam is good. Aquaman was fine. And Zack Snyder's Justice League is on the verge of being good. My problem I have with that is that it's 4 fucking hours long. Would you ever be interested in watching his trilogy?
No.
Come on. One day.
No.
We have so.
We only get so much time on this earth, and I'm not...
Come on.
No.
It's only 9 hours. 9 hours of films.
No, I would rather watch Titanic back to back.
Well, no shit, you would rather watch Titanic. It's your favorite movie.
Yeah, but it's 3 hours. I'd rather watch that 3 times in a row.
Well, no shit, it's your favorite movie.
Oh my
it's
god. Okay.
It's like me saying I would rather watch Endgame 3 times.
Okay. But Endgame is not as long as either of the films that we're talking about. Alright, well.
Yeah, I give it an 8.
Yeah.
You give it a what?
6.5. 6.5.
You got a lot of comments. Anyway, that was this episode.
Well, are we?
That was this episode of the Broke Theater Ushers podcast. We'll be back for our next episode, which we have decided and we are going to record. It is going to be...
It's so random.
It's so random.
It's literally 11 years.
We just watched it and we were like, you know what? Let's talk about it. It's Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan. So that's what we'll be reviewing next. We'll probably be posting it at the same time this week. Or around the same time of this week to kind of catch up.
It'll be out.
So...
Thanks, everyone, if you made it this far.
For ramblings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for our next episode. Check out our previous one.
And let us know what you thought about the Suicide Squad, obviously.
In the comments on YouTube and stuff like that. So.
And it's okay if you love this movie a lot more than us.
It's okay if you hate this movie. It really doesn't matter.
That's what movies are for.
Yes. Even if you somehow like the first movie over this one, that is your opinion and you're validated towards it.
Right.
We may not agree with it, but it's your opinion. And that's what matters.
All right, everyone.
Have a good one. Goodbye.